because
be
of
both.
energies
It could be just a
transferred in our
higher,
genes.
a different level of consciousness, like a higher, more connected version that we are maybe capable of tapping into, but too
Didn't they do that in
absorbed
Hellraiser?
to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's how I feel it is.
Yeah. Because Ian's got some weird shit.
Oh, I
And
know. He
Khalil
blows my
popped up
mind.
some weird shit,
He
too.
has.
And if it's carried on, we know that so much is passed in our DNA and our genes and our chromosomes.
Yeah.
And so many things can alter, and like birthmarks, like when you fall down, and that's supposed to. And there's a real strong connection of birthmarks with past lives I've been reading into.
Well, what about our moles that Mom had
They talk
removed?
about- we all have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in the same spot on the same
Like the
boob.
Buffy. It's the Vampire Slayer mole.
Yeah.
I don't want it removed.
And that's odd. All three of us, me, you, and Mom, what are the chances?
I haven't looked at my girls.
Well, Ariana's not
Yeah.
biologically mine, so I can't go by that with mine. But yeah, you should see who has it. I would pick Felicity, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a Nayla.
Because she's so freaking assholey.
She's stubborn.
Yeah.
Very stubborn.
She's an asshole. I could say it. Yeah. But that's something that's fascinating.
And you had something to say before I finished my story about the dogs.
What was we talking about?
The dog. I was talking about the dog. Was it? My story.
The CRISPR, we were talking about gene editing, the super dogs.
Yeah, maybe that's what you...
Yeah, I was going to talk about the bees, which we did.
Oh, maybe that's what you were leading
I'm
into.
pretty sure. Yeah. Well, because I feel my leaves are already falling off my trees, man. And these bees are in hyper mode. And they're so docile. Like, you can just shoot them. I just shoot them out, and they leave. Like, they're not stuck at windows and bouncing off windows like they used to. Like, I ain't lying. Me and Matt's been watching them. Because we think it's funny.
Well,
because they're almost interactive bees.
I have had many bees stuck in here, and they're still acting retarded with the windows.
The little honeybees?
Wasps. I've had honey. Yeah. I did have a honeybee in here, and a wood burrow.
I haven't even seen them.
I have so many of them.
Are they still there? Good.
Did I tell you about the day I was sitting there?
Yeah. I was just wondering if they came back or if they're still there.
I thought it was snowing and it was hot. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I looked up and seen the hole. I'm
Sawdust.
like, I'm getting shit on. That's what's happening. Not really. Great. It was just sawdust, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was still his waste that he was getting out to make his hole.
Yeah, the wasp, see, they kind of disappeared. Because the first year, well, I've been living there this is the fourth summer. The first summer, there was a shitload of bees. And then the last two was nothing. Like, the wasps are always in the bathroom. Like, there was nothing. Not even, like, I've seen a few crickets,
That's one thing I have not seen here. But, I mean... I was looking up frogs. I was looking up frogs, and they make sounds like a cricket too. Frogs and toads.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if what I'm hearing is a cricket or.
It's probably frogs. You have a shitload of frogs.
I do have a shitload of frogs, and I believe that's what I'm hearing.
Like, I try not to run over them up in the road.
Yeah, they're big. Some of them are
they
big.
are. I don't leave them alone. I don't want to kill them. If they got that big, they're survivors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing's growing too much anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I've seen a YouTube video of somebody feeding iguanas bread, dude. Bread in a parking lot. Like, they had taken over so much land.
Like birds.
It was like in Arizona or something like that. Some fucking weird state. And
like
birds and pigeons.
Today.
And like, to me, I didn't see it as cool like everybody else. I was like, that is fucking sad that they have nowhere to be. They don't even eat bread.
But it's not even that. I mean, it could be that they don't have anywhere to be, but it could also be that because they are feeding them.
Yeah, but just bread, like they eat bugs and shit.
They do eat bugs and shit, but
And somebody was like, they eat meat, I feed mine meat. I said, bread.
Aren't they...
A bug is a meat.
Aren't they omnivores, though? Don't they eat both?
Yeah, but why would they want to eat fucking bread? Bread is handmade.
Maybe they couldn't find a bug that day. When they're hunting a large pack...
It was a pack.
Then it's harder for them to find... The bugs can see a pack from a mile, like, fuck this!
They were like, I didn't know iguanas be chilling like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I
Could
look
you
at it
imagine
more
instead
as
of
them
birds, we're
adapting
just
to
out there?
us
Yes,
and
it
learning
is.
how to use us to their
Yeah, they
advantage.
did.
Because a lot of animals are trying
Hey, look at the deer.
the deer,
They're
the
literally
raccoons,
walking up on people. They're not even mean to us anymore.
No, there's
We're
people
not mean
that
to
have
them.
them as pets.
Yeah. Hey, when Dustin and I was together, there was a couple out in Mannington that came across baby raccoons, and we could hold them.
Yeah,
They
and
were so
raccoons
little.
are
They
actually
hug.
intelligent. Yeah, they're very cool
They
creatures.
really hug you. I don't know if I go picking, up on, but I trusted them a little bit.
When I was younger, I had a lot less fear of the wild animals. I wanted to keep a baby possum because it was cute as a baby.
I know you said that story on here before. Mom thrown in a thunderstorm.
Yeah,
like Fox and the Hound.
But yeah, nowadays I'm like, oh no, just stay at a distance. You're cute. Yeah. You're cool.
I hate seeing them dead too.
Oh,
do you remember
man.
that poster Dad had, the Roadkill Cafe?
No.
It had like possum a la mode. It had this huge menu.
Not at all.
I used to have it on the wall. It was so funny. I'm gonna try to find one. It's so funny.
Do not. I remember his ashtray, the little man.
Oh yeah, his brother made that. So I don't know.
What about CRISPR?
Oh yeah, the gene editing. So they were able to successfully genetically engineer the first U.S. child. However, they have been doing the eye collar and stuff like that you could pay for with the test tube babies.
Oh, are you talking about where they successfully took out? What kind of? It was some kind of
disease
trait. Yeah,
it was a heart disease, I believe.
I can't remember exactly. I think
it was cardio something.
I think I may have skimmed what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, what that means to me is we can no longer rely on natural selection and the strength of genes being passed down, good and bad genes.
Well, yeah, I completely agree with that. So
eugenics has really transferred to a whole nother level. And the more, remember when we were talking about reproduction and like me being a crazy nut, I was like, man, our kids ain't going to be able to reproduce. Our kids are fucked. And now they always take all of these articles and they slowly introduce it in with all these fancy titles. And those titles are extremely misleading. However, the story is always the same. And so now, since they're able, because we're over here worried about the transgenders being banned, okay? Which I'm going to say something why I touched that. In actuality, it costs so much for the hormone stuff and for all of that stuff. So I understand the argument because we can barely get the veterans or anybody in there without the right money even coming in.
Yeah, but who are we to judge what they spend their money on?
Right, because it's their health care.
Yeah.
But since we can, now that we have this technology, which is only available to the extreme rich, right now, to take away disease traits.
Yeah.
Listen, so that's eugenics and sterilization on a whole nother level. So why they're over here talking about that, because that's their argument, is the payment and banding it. And how if they're confused in their gender, then how can they be stable on the battlefield? They're going to be confused. You see, so, and people are extremely falling for this. But not only is it affecting them, and because they're using them as a target to pass their stupid healthcare bullshit, now, in the end, until they come for you, right? So there's other stuff going on, and they're using that as a whole distraction, and people are too divided and want to name call and be like, no, you're just like what Brett Marie did to me. When in actuality, it's long-term effects. You don't know what I was talking about. Yes, they're drilling way the fuck up north, breaking shit up. All of this is all tying together, and now we're seeing tsunamis and earthquakes. Yes, it's all completely cause and effect. You can't say that it's naturally occurring because we forgot what natural is since 1900.
Yeah, you're right. Then it's unnatural now.
Yeah.
in
unnatural quotation marks.
Even like you said, now down to a genetic level, natural selection will become
optional.
Well, I think it'll still happen. It'll probably become our enemy at some point.
Well, look at the programming through the movies.
If they are
Divergent,
able to
100.
accomplish.
Right. All of these different, I just have to wait a second. All these different movies and propaganda, and these, like the super dog, the superhuman, this super stratosphere, these super communications, these, all of it. And you cannot deny, heroes, all of this gearing us towards that sci-fi society. I mean, and then it's only going to be for those who can afford it, and look what they're teaching our kids. Straight biometrics, bioengineering, geoengineering, everything. Engineering has went from Excel to a whole different level.
Oh, I know.
And like it's so phenomenal? I don't know. Like surreal.
A little bit surreal.
Exciting,
a little bit exciting, a little bit scary, very conflicting overall because we can understand both the benefits and the consequences.
It totally debunks God in religion and tradition and all of these morals and values that we've been ingrained for centuries, thousands of years, to just absolute stop in its tracks. Like, and I seen something that's very disturbing, and I thought it was a joke when I when I threw it out there a couple years ago about people not believing in dinosaurs and using.
Did I tell you about that man I worked with? I'm not going to name any names, but I worked for a man. I was an in-home healthcare worker, but dinosaurs are angels.
UFOs are angels too. Ezekiel.
But there are people that, you know what I mean? I mean, you never know. There's so many different views. And then everybody's screaming, I'm right, no, I'm right, no, I'm right, you're wrong.
Right, and it's still like, I know the truth. No, I know the truth. No, none of us know the truth.
Exactly.
And at some point, you have to stop and ask yourself, okay, yeah, the rabbit hole goes extremely deep.
Oh, you can get lost in that.
But you can't, like, it's like, okay, I guess on some level,
I have to stop myself when I start flooring
some people
lines.
may have fabricated their findings, but they would not have these fields available to set you up to lie for or join some society. Like, come on, there's really good doctors who are actually, I mean, the Smithsonian, I've worked in that field, dude. Like, how all of that is not fabricated, not one bit. And arrowheads and all these things and dinosaurs and animals and fossils, they would not go, okay, maybe some people may go to further themselves or whatever. I'm not saying that. Like, do I believe the moon landing in 1950 was fake? There's a strong possibility. However, but does that mean we are not going to space now? Absolutely, we are going to space.
Excuse me. Could be fake, could be real, could be aliens up there. Will the public know in the immediate future? No, hell no. You can't handle the truth.
That's what I keep
saying. One
saying.
single person can be intelligent, but the people in a mass are stupid. We know that time and time again.
Even we fall for it sometimes. So,
yeah.
I mean, and there's so do I think that there's some level of manipulation and lying and conspiracy when it comes to the government and the elites, and even researching the Rothschilds and the money trail. The money trail is depressing. The funding on all sides. So when you see that it is divided and that it's all a lie, that's the fake world, and that they're doing all these different levels of what we just talked about, genetics and geoengineering and tampering and quote unquote playing God. But on as far as it's faking NASA and archaeology and science and climate change, I don't think that's fake and
one
set
thing.
up.
Do you think that we are going to wind up like some equilibrium shit where emotions are the enemy to transcending to that higher, to be able to break barriers? We are not going to be able to break the ethics barrier without some form of control for our one's emotions, belief structures, all